Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Season of Discovery, and more specifically we're going to talk about Season of Discovery Phase 8 and everything that is coming in this brand new phase of Season of Discovery. There is tons of great new content here, including new outdoor world content, a brand new raid, some updates to the Real vendor, and some other updates to the classic client actually, which are really cool. But before we jump into all of that, guys, I do want to give a massive thank you to everyone over on the Patreon. I've been posting over there fairly regularly, and I really appreciate all the support that everyone's given me over there. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, I'll leave a link down below. Right, so yes, Season of Discovery Phase 8, potentially the last phase of Season of Discovery, as it was hinted in the blue post announcing the release date that it culminates in Phase 8, but you never know, never say never, we might actually end up with a Phase 9, but potentially even we might get something brand new and evergreen in regards to Classic Plus content. But this video is not all about that, it's about Phase 8. So, the release date for Phase 8 of Season of Discovery is April 8th in the NA region and April 9th in the EU. On that patch day, you will get new outdoor world content, profession content in New Avalon, and the Scarlet Enclave related quest content. And then on April 10th, the Scarlet Enclave raid and legendary questline will become available at 1 PM PDT globally. So it is once again a global launch for the brand new raid. So let's get into what is actually coming. So new outdoor world content. So in Phase 8 of Season Discovery, we will have some new quest lines. This quest line will start in Light's Hope Chapel, and perhaps you've already started it. In Phase 7, there was a short quest line related to the Scarlets from Leonid Bartholomew the Revered, so you may have already done the start of it, but in Phase 8, on April 8th and 9th, this quest line will continue, and you'll have a long quest line related to the Scarlet Crusade and the Scarlet Enclave and Tyr's Hand and all this fun extra story stuff that we've never seen before in Classic WoW. On top of that, you will also have another questline from Leonid Bartholomew the Revered, which is kind of the story of him. It's actually a really great questline that will take you into Strathholme, and eventually you will get some really awesome rewards from this as well that some classes might actually really like. So from this questline, you'll have the choice of getting Leonid's Charm, the Hand of Reborn Justice, Bartholomew Family Seal, or the Journal of the Revered. So some really great rewards from this questline, but as mentioned, there are two kind of main questlines, both of which start in Light's Hope Chapel from Leonid Bartholomew the Revered. Also as well, you will encounter some new areas in the classic world, including the Scarlet Base Camp. This is in southern Eastern Plaguelands and is a brand new area which has been created for Phase 8. You will encounter this area quite a few times during the new quest lines, but beyond that, this is really just going to be the area where the entrance to the new raid is, so it's just in the mountaintop. Unfortunately, the Meeting Stone does not summon, so sorry to break that news to you, but yeah, the Scarlet Base Camp is a new area in southern Eastern Plaguelands, but also there's another brand new area in Eastern Plaguelands, and this is New Avalon. Now, you might have heard of New Avalon before because New Avalon is a very important area in the Death Knight starting zone in Wrath of the Lich King. This is where you're going to be spending quite a bit of your time in Phase 8, as this is where the majority of the new outdoor world content takes place. Now, during that long quest line I mentioned before, you will have a quest that will give you a new reward, which is called the Scarlet Insignia. Now, this Scarlet Insignia is actually really important in Phase 8 because what it will do is disguise you as a member of the Scarlet Crusade, making you able to interact with everybody in New Avalon. Well, not absolutely everyone. The dogs will try and kill you, which is super annoying, so try to keep away from those. But beyond that, everyone wants to be your friend. Now, to make this Scarlet Insignia work, you're going to need 4 pieces of Scarlet Uniform. Now, Scarlet Uniform are new crafted items created by tailors, leatherworkers, and blacksmiths, and the recipes for these items actually drop from NPCs in New Avalon. So if you don't want to be their friend, you can kill them for a chance at these recipes, which can also be bought and sold on the auction house. Now, if you are a tailor, leatherworker, or blacksmith and you want to make these items, to make them, you're going to need righteous orbs, blood of heroes, various metals, leathers, and cloth, depending on the profession. But the Scarlet Uniform sets are BOE, so they can be bought and sold on the auction house as well, which is super handy. But you will need 4 pieces of this. Once you have 4 pieces of this, you can click the Scarlet Insignia and become friendly with the Scarlet Crusade. Crusade. You can also use the tabard of the Scarlet Enclave as well instead of 4 pieces, and we don't know where this comes from, but presumably it will drop in the raid and is a very awesome looking tabard, which I would very much like in retail. So, once you're friendly with everybody in New Avalon, what are you going to be doing? So, there are a ton of brand new profession quests. There are new items which have been created for Phase 8, including new bags. You have a new 30-slot Hunter Quiver or ammo pouch with 15% attack speed. You have new enchants, new feasts that you can create with cooking. You can buy new hunter ammo. This actually costs thorium shells or thorium-headed arrows, depending on which one you use. Yeah, this is some really good ammo, so definitely make sure you're buying that. Also, while in New Avalon, you can access the bank and a alchemy lab, and this is actually the first alchemy lab outside of Scholomance and Blackwing Lair, so that's actually kind of huge. There's also a weekly quest here for a chance of the brand new tier set from the raid. This quest is actually fairly easy. All you have to do is donate 1 piece of Scarlet uniform for a chance at some of the currency which you purchase the tier set with, which we'll get into in a bit. Overall, there's quite a bit to do here with professions and things like that. Personally, I would have really liked a reputation here where you could grind out maybe daily quests and things like that, and then eventually get exalted so you don't need to wear the insignia, but I completely understand. It's classic. They're probably not going to do things like that. So yeah, it's not a ton of stuff. You're not going to be there every single day, but certainly really nice to see some of these new items coming in for professions and just some really nice utility in regards to having a bank there, an alchemy lab and whatnot. Moving on into the raid. Yes, we have a brand new raid in Phase 8, which I mentioned a few times now, and this is the Scarlet Enclave. This is a brand new 8-boss raid located in Eastern Plaguelands, with the majority of the raid taking place in Tyr's Hand, the Scarlet Enclave, and inside the alpha version of Scarlet Monastery, which was like a version of Scarlet Monastery they created back in alpha, which is all the versions put together. At least that's speculated. It seems to be inside this map ID, so perhaps we'll see that, but it has not been tested on PTR, so as of the recording of this, we're not 100% on how this raid is going to be laid out, but it does sound very exciting. The entrance to this, as mentioned, is in southern Eastern Plaguelands over by the Scarlet Base Camp. So the 8 bosses in this raid are Balnazar. Yes, somehow Balnazar has returned. He is one of the bosses in this raid. We have Beatrix, which is someone we actually worked alongside, so yep. We have a boss called Beastmaster. We're not sure what this looks like or how this will play out, but yeah, it's just called Beastmaster. We have a dragon, a proto-dragon called Solestraza. Yeah, I think that's how that's pronounced. Pretty cool. We have a boss called Mason the Echo, who is the Grand Admiral, so presumably this will take place at the docks. The next boss listed is the Reborn Council, which presumably is Herod and a couple other bosses from the Scarlet Monastery, but nothing has been properly confirmed apart from probably Herod, as there is items and spells referencing him, but maybe we'll see Whitemane, I'm not really sure. Boss 7 is Lillian Voss in her original form. She actually debuted in the Cataclysm expansion, so we're going to get some extra lore here. Maybe we are the ones that kill her, which is kind of crazy, but we'll see. And then the final boss, presumably, is going to be Calderan, who again is someone we have worked with in Naxxramas and in the questing of Phase 8. So some interesting Scarlet Crusade betrayals happening on this boss list. Now that particular order might not be exact to how it is in the raid, that's just how it is in the files, but that's the 8 bosses you could expect in the Scarlet Enclave raid. Of course, inside this raid, we are getting brand new tier sets. We have brand new sets for every single class. These are new Scarlet themed colors of sets from classic and future World of Warcraft expansions. Now, I did do a full video going over the appearances of these, so if you do want to check them out in more details with the set bonuses, I'll leave a link down below for you to check out. But yeah, for the most part, these are just recolors of sets from classic PvP or tier 5 and things like that. But for the most part, I do like the colorations and it does make them look very unique. Now, to obtain this tier set, there are a couple of ways to do this. From what we understand, it does just drop straight from the raid, so it will just drop from the bosses inside the raid, which is great, but you can also obtain it through a vendor. This vendor obviously needs the Scarlet insignia to speak to, but to purchase items from this vendor, you need one of these Scarlet uniform items, so let's say a helm, and then you need an item called a Crusader's Chalice. Now, these chalices presumably do drop in the raid, but you also do have a chance to obtain them through that weekly quest, which I mentioned earlier. So there is actually a way to obtain basically full tier set without ever stepping into the raid, which is kind of crazy. Of course, as well, in this raid, you will get weapons and trinkets and rings and everything you'd expect from a raid. If you do want to look at some of the weapon models and some of their effects, again, again, I have a full video and I can link that down below. Also, in the Scarlet Enclave raid, we have 2 mounts, it seems. So the first mount is the Scarlet Steed, which is a recolor of the human paladin mount. And the second mount is called Climhazzard, Mount of the High Commander, which is a recolor of the paladin epic mount. So yeah, we're not exactly sure how you get them, but yeah, it looks like they are linked to the Scarlet Enclave raid in some way. Also in the Scarlet Enclave raid, I'll be remiss to not talk about it, the Ashbringer. Yes, the Ashbringer is coming to Classic WoW. Now this weapon is going to be obtainable by warriors, paladins, and hunters. Fantastic news. So yes, the Ashbringer is going to be obtainable in Phase 8. We do not know much about this at all. The description on the website says warriors, hunters, and paladins can undertake an epic quest to restore a fallen weapon to its former glory. Will you succeed, or will this storied weapon remain shrouded in darkness? The future is uncertain. Again, not sure how this works. It was not on PTR, but this will be releasing with the raid, and I'm not sure if it starts in the raid or it'll be something that starts outside of the raid. From the looks of things in the data, there are various versions of the Ashbringer, including a corrupted one, a broken one, a restored one. It's a bit of a mystery, but yeah, we'll find out more details on April 10th, but limited to your warriors and your hunters and your paladins. So let's talk about some other minor changes in Phase 8. Tarnished Undermine Reals are getting a bit of an update in this phase. So the maximum cap of Undermine Reals you can hold is going to be 250, which was previously 150, so good change there. And also on that vendor, as of patch day, you can purchase the Blackwing Lair class weapon quest items. So for 150 Reals, you can experience these really cool and unique quest lines for your class and get a really powerful weapon at the end of it. So big fan of that. I thought those quest lines were really good. Very much enjoyed the Hunter one, so looking forward to seeing more reactions of people playing through those quest lines. You can just purchase that for 150 Reals, so definitely stock up right now. And finally, in the Classic client, we're getting some updates. So on the character select screen, there's going to be a new option for mode. When you click this mode option, you get several different versions of Classic you can play. You have Classic Era Hardcore, Season of Discovery, the 20th Anniversary Realms, and then the 20th Anniversary Hardcore Realms. So basically the realm selection tool, but just a bit more user-friendly and looks really nice. So guys, that is Phase 8 of Season of Discovery, possibly the last phase. I have had such a good time playing Season of Discovery, and if this is the end, I think it's been an absolute blast, and hopefully the future is bright for new classic content. I think Season of Discovery, especially the last couple phases, has been a massive success, and I would love to see this development team create more awesome new content in that classic environment. I'm really looking forward to this phase, and I can't wait to dive into the Scarlet Enclave raid. I think once the patch is out and once the raid is out, I'll probably make some more videos covering it. I'd love to do a video going over the raid and everything that's going on with that for people who don't play Season of Discovery, and I'm really hoping to get an Ashbringer in this phase, and if I do, I will most certainly be doing a video on that quest line. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know down below what you're most excited for in Phase 8 of Season of Discovery, and if this is the end of Season of Discovery, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. So leave a like on this video, guys, if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon, and I'm on Twitter, MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well, and I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. I've been streaming War Within, Season of Discovery, all sorts of World of Warcraft. I'm planning on streaming the Scarlet Enclave raid on release night, so if you'd want to check that out and more, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.